Hello students, welcome to this lesson. In the previous lesson, we discussed about ecosystem. It is a community of living things with their non-living environments such as water, air, soil and rock. And we have seen also ecosystem have a lot of living organisms, and these living organisms interacting with each other as a system, and energy flows from one organism to another organism in the form of food, and we call this process food chain, and we have seen some examples of food chain. We have seen also living things in an ecosystem divided into three categories. These are producer, consumer and decomposers. Plants are producer, and they are the only living things which can make their own food through the process known as photosynthesis, and they are the primary passage from one organism to another organism. But animals are consumer, and we have seen three types of consumer. Primary consumer or herbivorous are animals, they eat only plants. Secondary consumer or carnivorous are animals, they eat herbivorous and sometimes other carnivorous eat each other. Omnivorous are animals, they live on both plants and animals. And we have seen also the other important component of ecosystem, that is decomposer. Decomposers are plants and animals that break down dead plants and animals into organic materials that go back into the soil. Microorganisms like fungi and bacteria are decomposers. They live on dead plants and animals. This is all about the previous lesson. Today we are going to start Unit 3, which deals about human population and economic activity. For today, we are going to focus only human population. And at the end of this lesson, you will be able to define the concepts of human population, and you also able to explain the importance of studying human population. Students, are you ready to start the lesson? Good. First, let us see the concepts of human population. Human population is the number of people living in a definite area. The studying of human population is important for different reasons. Particularly, the information is important for the government to provide different services such as health, education, housing, social security, employment, and environmental prevention. Generally, the studying of human population is necessary for development and socio-economic activity of a country. This is because population is the major sources of labor forces in different sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, teaching, health. Generally, it is a source of wealth of a country. All these factors make the study of human population is extremely important for the overall socio-economic development of a country. Now let us see historical development of human population. Human population increased from time to time, especially human population rapidly increased since 15th and 16th century. By 1750, the total number of human population was 791 million people, but after 250 years, which means by 2000, it reached to 6 billion. Based on this, different scientists reached to consensus that this rapid growth of human population has an impact on the usage of resources, and it also affects the needs of human population, because when the number of population increase, the demand also increase. They also linked to threats to the ecosystem in different aspects, such as the number of population increase affect the rising level of atmospheric carbon dioxide, and it also causes for global warming and causes for air pollution. Now let us see the distribution of human population. Human population distribution shows a great variation from continent to continents. Particularly Africa and other developing countries accounts the largest share of the world population. Let us see this chart. It is the world population size and percentage. The data based on 2009. According to the data, Asia alone accounts 60.5%. Africa accounts 14.7%. In fact, the percentage differ from places to places. For instance, Oceania accounts only 0.5%. Again, based on the data, Asia alone accounts 60.5, means it was 4.1 billion people at that time. Africa accounts 999 million people, which means 14.7%. Europe accounts 738, means 10.8%. Based on this, we can understand that Africa and Asia account more than 50% of the world population. Now let us see the world 10 largest countries in terms of their population size. According to your textbook, the data based on 2009, but this data based on 2019, it is the recent one. So based on the data, China stands first, India second, USA third, Indonesia fourth, Pakistan fifth, Brazil sixth, Nigeria 7, Bangladesh 8, and Russia 9, finally Mexico the 10th position. Now let us proceed to source of population data. Population data refers information about population in different aspects such as number of people, age, marital status, birth and death of the population, occupation, religion, educational status, and other characteristics of human population. Based on the above lesson, we have seen that the studying of human population is important for different reasons. Particularly, the information is important for the government to provide different services, such as social, health, education, employment, and other services based on the information. And it also guides policy makers to forecast the needs of population and to understand how to meet them. There are different methods to gather information about population, but the commonly used methods are population census, sample survey, and vital registration. For today, we are going to discuss only population census. Census are the main sources of data, and it used by different countries including Ethiopia. And it defined as it is a total process. It is a total process, first collecting, then analyzing, then compiling and publishing demographic, economic and social data of every person in a country. Now let us see the main features of census. The first feature is government sponsorship. Since census is the responsibility of government, so government should provide different logistics which are necessary to conduct census. So it is under government sponsorship. The second feature is defined territory. Census need its own demarcation or boundaries. The third feature is universality. Enumeration must include every person within the scope of the territory, without omission or duplication. So census try to count every person in the country as of a fixed day. And we call this fixed day census day. The other feature is simultaneity. Simultaneity means census should have a specific well-defined time, and the census should be conducted at the same time throughout the country. The other feature is individual units. The data is collected on an individual basis rather than groups. Then the data is compiled and published. Periodicity is also the other features of census. Census should be taken at a certain specific time interval. Usually countries conduct their census within 10 or 5 years. Countries like United States and Ethiopia conduct their census every 10 years, while Canada and UK conduct their census every 5 years. Expensiveness is the other features of, and the last features of census. Due to its universality and the need to complete coverage of the entire territory and the entire population, it is the most expensive events of a country. Students, this is all about for today. Now it is time to perform some activities based on the above lesson. You have a few minutes and I will come back soon. Welcome back, students. Did you manage to define the terms of population and explain the importance of studying human population? Well done. Let us check your answers together. As you have seen on the above lesson, population is the number of people living in a definite area. The study of human population is important for different reasons. Particularly, the information is important for the government to provide different services such as health, education, housing, social security, and other services based on the information, and helps the government to make decisions to the issues related to social and economic affairs. And it also guides policymakers to forecast the needs of population and to understand how to meet them. Students, were all your answers correct? Good job. This is all about for today. We have seen the concepts of human population. Human population is the number of people living in a definite area. And we have seen also the studying of human population is important for different reasons. Particularly, the information is important for the government to provide different services such as health, education, employment, housing, and other services based on the information. The information also guides policymakers to forecast the needs of population and to understand how to meet them. And we have seen also the distribution of human population. The distribution of human population shows a great variation from continent to continent, but Africa and other developing countries account the largest share of world's population. And we have seen also the world 10 largest countries in terms of their population size. And we discussed about one of the 3 methods of gathering information about population, that is population census, and we discussed the main features of census. This is all about for today. For next program, we will discuss the other methods of gathering information about population. Until then, goodbye students, goodbye.